All right, risings everyone. This is about to be a get ready with me to go to the garden. I moved from the East Coast to the West Coast 5 months ago, and I feel like it definitely rocked my world. This is my first time ever moving away from home, so all of my family, all of my friends live on the East Coast. I wouldn't say all, because now I've made more friends out here. My community and who I grew up with was definitely over there. So it's been a transition period. By the way, these are overnight heatless curls. I love doing these like every once in a while just to spice things up. But in a lot of ways, doing this has been really triggering and confronting. My mind kind of starts to spiral, unraveling of maybe who I'm not. Let me just keep it real. Like, there's been a lot of overthinking. I need to insert this clip. There's this picture that I found, I think, on a YouTube video. It's about your emotional spirals. When you spiral down, you can be in that like victim, critical, judgmental mindset, and it's like a protection mechanism. Like you're like hypercritical of yourself. You don't feel like you belong. The upward spiral is like back into joy, compassion, love, creativity, and there's a bunch of stages in between. All this to say is that I feel like certain things that were happening inside of me were trying to pull me to that rock bottom victim mindset. I felt like people were out to get me. Everything's happening to me. This was a very different place to be than where I felt before I moved. So it's been really confronting having to re-meet the parts of yourself that didn't always feel empowered, which, you know, lives in every single one of us. Fast forward these past 5 months, I just got my moon cycle. I feel like I had this moment where I had to make the decision. Am I gonna keep running away from myself, from these feelings? Or can I actually make the space for myself to fully be in it? So I chose the latter option. I spent 3 or 4 days of my period watching Tagalog movies on Netflix and then TFC and just letting myself cry. I actually thought I was getting like the romantic comedy ones, but the romance ones are like really sad. It was really nice for me to watch because it just helped me to cry and release all of those heavy pent up emotions in a different lens. If we talked about privilege, right? I feel like the circumstances are actually not bad. You know, each person still experiences their own internal struggles with not feeling like enough, not feeling like you have enough, not feeling like you do enough. And honestly, I feel like since I just let myself wallow, I just let myself descend into that like rock bottom feeling, and there was no end goal. Like it was literally like, okay, another day, another cry. Why was this important for me? It's like I kept trying to push myself to just keep moving forward, like keep doing what I've been doing, like creating community events and learning, improving. I truly feel like, you know, when you're running away from yourself, you're looking outside of yourself for all these like answers, all these things to like kind of fill whatever you're feeling inside. But the answer really oftentimes won't come from out there. It feels like a yearning or like a desperation to find some kind of answer. And so we turn to like everyone outside of us. It's been maybe like 2 or 3 days since those 4 days of like crying and shedding happened. And now I'm back in my follicular phase. I'm like, slowly taking my time to get back out into the world, back into being seen. I actually started to feel inspiration, but it's like in a new direction. It's actually about YouTube. I haven't felt this inspiration in a while. Literally, if nothing comes out of YouTube and it's purely to just express myself and kind of document like these really cool things that are happening in my life that I really want to document, like for me. I just feel like the tide is turning. I'm the turning point. The way that I am viewing my circumstances changing. The way that I feel empowered within is changing, and it's such a process. I've done it before, but I feel like this version of me, this new version of me is growing. But yeah, I feel really inspired to do YouTube and to just enjoy the process, document what's happening, how I'm feeling, and with no expectation. I feel like it's just for fun. Me listening to that inner guidance of like, what's fun? Like, why am I doing all of this again? Like, why did I even create a brand new Instagram to be more myself on it? Or why did I even start a business that, like I can work with my intuitive gifts to help people step into like their truth, whether that's like their spiritual gifts or the truth is that it's hard and it's really confronting to let yourself hit that rock bottom and surrender. I feel like when I moved, I've met so many people who inspire me out here, and subconsciously I was like, oh, like maybe I need to do this and that. And now that I've taken this time to reflect more and allow my intuition to separate what's like all these ideas, as a generator in human design, I feel like I get so many ideas, so much inspiration to do this and that and this and that. And I like to lead with that excitement, but yeah, I feel like my intuition has been showing me your path is different. Your excitement and what lights you up is different. There's no need to do things like other people. There's no need, especially to compete. But the thing about when you're in that rock bottom feeling of helplessness and victimhood is that you're in that fear state, like there's not enough to go around, is really just a projection of that fear. Because in reality, like if you think about all the people who've helped you just from watching them on YouTube, just from like resonating with their content and from them sharing their, I don't know, for me it was spirituality. For me it was like people who talked about spirituality. It's like unapologetic with being themselves on YouTube. Create a life that I didn't know was possible for myself. One person's success doesn't take away from other people's. Whether you view someone as your community or your competition, I feel like it really depends on how you feel inside. If you have been feeling that rock bottom moment, just know that, like, how can you create safety for yourself in that rather than judging it, trying to keep resisting it and keep pushing forward? Can you create safety by reaching out for help? Can you create safety by giving yourself permission to go there for maybe like a day and just let yourself wallow, let yourself feel that self-pity, that self-doubt, and know that you're just experiencing that and it's not an identity that we have to stay with forever. Coming back into my why and being fueled by what inspires me is me leading from my heart again. I go through these periods where my mind is trying to run the show. Like my mind is trying to understand what's happening in my emotional world. And it doesn't work like that because emotions are meant to be felt. Our hearts have so much wisdom to share if we can actually just let ourselves feel it. Now that I feel more grounded in my heart, and I've let her speak, like I've let her release. I feel like she has so much to show me again of like, remember what it feels like to do what you love. Remember what it feels like to do something that inspires you, something that lights you up to do, that if there was no outcome, no other outcome apart from the pure joy that it took to hit record, to edit this video, and to share these musings, that is in itself meaningful. I think with like this instant gratification that a lot of us have grown up with at this point, it can be so easy to forget that there's beauty in just the act of creation. The people who started YouTube in the earlier days, they literally did it just because they wanted to, like just because it was fun for them. Michelle Phan, who's like an OG YouTube beauty content creator, she did a podcast interview with Ryan Higa, who is an OG creator on YouTube too. They had a lot of similarities in that like they didn't think anyone was gonna be watching their videos. Like they were just doing it purely for fun. He even talked about a lot of blocks that he faced with his creativity process. To keep pumping out like good content, that pressure is exactly what takes us away from the pure joy of it. Follow the next thing. Follow the next thing that inspires me. I kept trying to do more of like what brought me joy before, but it's different now. The rebirth is not always easy. It's not always fun to let yourself sit in that and be in that, but damn, this was such a beautiful experience to have. I feel like I'm still like, I just hit rock bottom and I'm slowly starting to feel that like initial like curve back up. Joy and the act of creating is in the present. It's not in any planning for the future. It's here. All right, let's go get ready to go to the community garden. This is where I've been hosting my moon circle since I moved. So I'm excited to take you with me. Let's go. Hosting gatherings here has been really cool because as you can see, there's a lot of flowers and herbs and produce. I actually just got produce myself and it's in my bag right now. So yeah, this is one of the things that I really look forward to visiting because it is super grounding. I feel like, I don't know, just being in such a new location, a new part of Turtle Island, aka the US, it's been really ungrounding. So this is one of my most favorite places to be. Here.
I know what's floating around you, rock.
Whoa.